Assalamu alaikum everybody. Myself Lal, teacher of English from DPS and IC Khushab. Today is our first class, which is about change of voice in English grammar. In this class, we will discuss about the change of active into a passive. Before starting our main lecture, we will discuss the three key points which we are going to discuss in our lecture. The first point will be the definition, introduction, recognition, that how you will recognize a sentence is an active voice or a passive voice. The second point which we are going to discuss, the basic rules which are going to be followed throughout our lecture. The third point, the method of changing a voice, that how a voice is changed from active to passive. So first we will discuss active voice. Active voice. An active voice sentence tells us about the main subject in the sentence. Means to say, in an active voice sentence, we are given an information about our subject, about the person who is performing an action in our sentence. Here, our main subject is he. Our verb is offers and the object is prayer. You will see that he is dominating the whole sentence. Dominating means he is the supreme. Here, he is performing the act. All other words are giving us news about he. So, in an active voice sentence, we are told about the main subject, about the main actor or the performer of the sentence. Our other portion, which is also known as predicate, it works as the informer about our subject. ये हमारा जो verb और ये जो हमारा object होता है, ये basically informer का काम कर रहे होते हैं, जो कि हमें हमारे subject के बारे में बता रहे होते हैं कि हमारा जो main subject है, जो main हमारा person है, जो actor है sentence के अंदर कि वो कौन सा act जो है वो perform कर रहा है. Here the subject is he because our sentence is started from our subject. So, in a simple sentence, subject will always remain at the start of the sentence. Passive voice. Now, in active voice, we discuss that our subject is actively taking part in the sentence. Actively taking part means he is the main person about whom we are told in that sentence. But when we move toward the passive voice, now in passive voice, our subject is not actively taking part. It has become passive. Passive means now our subject is depending upon predicate, is depending upon the action. Now here, action is the first and the subject is at the last. So in this sentence, our subject loses its dominance. Now it's depending upon the action. Now in passive sentence, we are told about the action, not about the actor. We are told about the predicate first, not about the subject first. So a passive sentence tells us about the action which is performed by our subject, and in active sentence, we are told about the subject who is performing an action. In passive sentence, we are told about the action which is performed by the subject. So this is the difference between active voice or passive voice. Now moves towards the next step, which is rules. Rules to be followed in change of voice. Now these are the basic rules which remains almost same throughout all the tenses which we will study in our change of voice. Remember one thing, there are 12 tenses in English language, but when we move toward the change of voice, there we study only 8 tenses. So these are the rules which are going to be followed in all 8 tenses. Our first rule is object into a subject. We will study about it in detail when we move toward our main lecture. The second rule is third form of verb. Third form of verb in all passive voice tenses, in all passive voice sentences, third form of verb is used always, never changes. Remember one thing, हमेशा आपको कोई भी टेंस है, किसी भी टेंस को आप एक्टिव वॉइस से पैसिव वॉइस की तरफ ले जा रहे हैं, तो आप उसके अंदर हमेशा थर्ड फॉर्म ऑफ वर्ब यूज करेंगे, not any other form of verb. Third rule is addition of by. Most of the time we change this rule according to the sentence. Our fourth rule is object into a subject, which is also remain same throughout all tenses, which we will study in active voice or passive voice. Now, how we change a voice into active from from active to passive. So we will start from our very first sentence, then simple present tense. We are going to study now about simple present tense, that how a simple present tense changes from active to passive. What rules are followed, in which way we change an active voice into a passive voice. Here the key point I am going to tell you, the key point which you have to remember throughout the whole present tense, simple present tense. So our key point is helping verb in passive for present tense is am. Here are helping verb. ये हमारा helping verb है जो हम पूरे simple present tense के अंदर हम इन्हीं को follow करेंगे passive voice के अंदर. Remember one thing, ये जो helping verb I am telling about, these are the helping verb for passive voice, not for active voice. When we will change from active to passive voice, we will use these helping verb. Here we have a sentence, he plays cricket. As we have already discussed that in active voice we are told about the subject. Here our subject dominates other part of the sentence. Here he is our subject and is dominating all other part of the sentence. So he is our subject. It's an active voice. Now when we change into passive voice, remember the first rule which I have already told about you. The first rule, we change our object into a subject. This is the first and the main rule of active voice. When we change an active voice into a passive voice, our object is cricket, we will replace it with the subject. Now here, cricket is at the start of the sentence, which is called object into a subject. Next step, helping verb. I have already told that we are going to follow these helping verb. For passive voice, is, are, or, am. These are the helping verb. Again and again I am repeating so you can remember. For passive voice, in present tense, our helping verb is are or am according to subject. Now here our subject is cricket, so our helping verb, as everyone knows, will be singular is. Cricket is the main rule about which I told it will remain same throughout all the tenses, throughout all sentences. Any tense, any sentence of English, when we change into passive, we place third form of verb, no other form of verb. So plays into played. Cricket is played. Addition of preposition by. Now the last rule, subject into object. Now here our subject is he. Here is him. Now most of you will be thinking that how it changes from he into him. Remember one thing. Every pronoun in English language has three. Every pronoun in English language has three cases. The first is known as personal pronoun, as he. The second one is known as possessive pronoun, that will be his. And the third one is known as objective pronoun, that will be him. So when we change our subject into object, जब हम अपने subject को object की तरफ ले जाते हैं, then it will also change its case. Not only position but also its case. So from he it will be into him. For example, अगर he ने दरम्यान में sentence के दरम्यान में कहीं पे हम इसको निश्चित करते हैं तो हम पर he को his कर देते, not him. But now we are changing it from subject to object, so it will be him, not he or his. It will be him. So this is the simple present tense affirmative sentences, in which we are simply told about any action, any activity. कोई भी ऐसा जुमला जिसके अंदर में सिंपल एक काम के बारे में बताया जाता है, that the verb is under action, उसको आप affirmative sentence कहते हैं. That is known as affirmative sentence. Now moves toward the next simple present का negative sentence. Negative, in which we are told about an action which is not done. Again, helping verb for present is or am. For your remembrance, again and again I am writing, so that's why it should be clear, must be clear for you that helping verb in simple present tense would be is, are, or am. Now here we have active tense. For simple present tense, we know that when we write an active sentence, we have to write an helping verb. हमें एक helping verb की जरूरत पड़ती है अपने simple present tense को जब हम negative में translate करते हैं. So that's why we need an helping verb. So for simple present negative tense, our helping verb is does. He does. After that, not, and first form of verb follow an object me. Now here you will see that I will not place writing S or ES with the first form of verb because I have already written. He does not follow me. When there is does, then there is no need of addition S or ES with the first form of the verb, which is a prescribed rule for simple present tense. He does not follow me. Now, it's active voice of simple present and negative sentence. Now we are going to change it into a passive. How will we change it? First rule, main rule. Again, subject, object into a subject. Clear? Our object is me. It will shift from object to subject. So, when it will be at the position of the subject, it will be I. As he will move toward object and changes into him. So, in the same way, if our object is any pronoun or in objective case, when we will shift it from object into subject, जब हम इसको object से subject की तरफ लाएंगे, again it will change its case. तब ये अपनी हालत तब्दील कर देगा. जब हम इसको subject की जगह पर लाएंगे, then it will be in subjective case, which is also known as personal pronoun, not as possessive or objective pronoun. So me into I. Our helping verb is am for simple present. Now here our subject is I. So according to rule, for I, our helping verb will be am. I am. Remember one thing. Active voice has its own helping verb and passive voice has its respective helping verb. Active voice के अपने helping verb होते हैं, passive voice के अपने helping verb होते हैं. So don't think that here we are using does. So in passive voice you will also use side type does or do as your helping verb. It will be wrong. Passive voice has its own helping verb. I am. According to rule here is not. So I am not. As explained, third form of verb for passive voice following to followed. I am not followed. Addition of by, which is working as a proposition, and at the last subject into object. As I have already explained that when you change a subject into an object, it also changes its case. जब भी आप अपने सब्जेक्ट को सब्जेक्ट से लेकर ऑब्जेक्ट की जगह पर लाते हैं तो तब ये अपनी पोजीशन भी चेंज करता है और अपनी शेप भी चेंज कर देता है. फॉर एग्जांपल हियर इट इज ही, here it will be him. So in this way you change an active voice into a passive voice of simple present negative. He does not follow me. Passive, I am not followed by him. After negative, we'll move towards interrogative. Interrogative, everyone knows any sentence in which we are asked about anything that is called interrogative tense. Interrogative sentence ऐसा फिक्रा जिसके अंदर हमसे कोई न कोई बात पूछी जाए, हमसे किसी न किसी बात का हमसे पूछा जाए, that is known as interrogative सवालिया जुमला या सवालिया फिक्रा. It's for your remembrance, helping verb, same is are or am. Now here we have an active sentence of simple present interrogative. For interrogative, it's a rule. For interrogative, it's a rule that when we make a sentence interrogative, we place the helping verb at the start of the sentence. In all English tenses, when you will have to change a simple sentence into an interrogative, the simple thing you do is that you place the helping verb at the start of the sentence, not in the center or at the end, but before the subject. In previous tense, you will see that here it's a simple sentence. He does not follow me. Here subject is at the start of the sentence, but in interrogative, our helping verb is at the start of the sentence. Do they offer prayer? So it's an interrogative. Now, when we will change it into a passive voice, it will also remain interrogative. If it is interrogative in active voice, it must be interrogative in passive voice. अगर ये एक्टिव वॉइस के अंदर भी हमारे पास इंटरॉगेटिव सेंटेंस है तो हम उसको इस तरह से पैसिव वॉइस के अंदर कन्वर्ट करेंगे कि पैसिव वॉइस में भी हमारे पास इंटरॉगेटिव शेप में आए, ना कि सिंपल सेंटेंस की शेप में आ जाए. डू दे ऑफर प्रेयर. नाउ जब हम इसको पैसिव वॉइस करेंगे तो यहाँ पर थोड़ी पोजीशन हम अपनी हेल्पिंग वर्ब की चेंज कर देंगे. जैसे एक्टिव वॉइस के अंदर आप देख रहे हैं कि हमारा हेल्पिंग वर्ब स्टार्ट पे है, सो इन द सेम वे पैसिव वॉइस के अंदर भी हम क्या करेंगे, हमारा जो हेल्पिंग वर्ब होगा अकॉर्डिंग टू सब्जेक्ट ऑफ द सेंटेंस, हमारा जो हेल्पिंग वर्ब होगा वो स्टार्ट पे आ जाएगा. Here we have a subject Object into subject, prayer, it's a singular, so our helping verb will be singular. Is will be at the start of the sentence. After that, our object into subject is prayer. And as explained before, offered, first form of verb. In passive voice, it would be third form of verb. Is prayer offered? Addition of by, and at the end, our subject into object. Do they offer prayer? Is prayer offered by them? Again, our pronoun from subjective case into objective. Subjective से objective. फाइली हालत से मफूली हालत में चला गया because here we are adding it at the start of the sentence, but here we are adding it at the end of the sentence. Whenever a pronoun is written at the start of the sentence, it is in subjective form, but whenever it is written at the end of the sentence, it is in objective form. So it's a rule of English grammar. Active voice, do they offer prayer? Passive voice, is prayer offered by them? Next, complex sentence. Complex sentence, which is a traditional style. In traditional style, it is known as negative plus interrogative. Negative plus interrogative. There is no side type of term in English language. Negative plus interrogative. It is known as complex sentence. Complex sentence in which we are asked about an active thing. We are asked in the same sentence. Someone is asking from us, and in the same sentence, we are talking about any activity which does not take place. इस एक फिल्म के अंदर हमसे क्वेश्चनिंग भी की जाती है और इसी सेंटेंस के अंदर हमें उस बात का जिक्र किया जाता है जो कि रूनुमा नहीं हुई, कोई भी ऐसा एक्शन जो कि टेक प्लेस नहीं हुआ. Does he not follow us? Here the positions, placement for interrogative, helping verb will be stored at the sentence. Does, after helping verb will be subject, he. Then for negative we will add not, first form of verb, because it's simple present tense, and simple present tense के अंदर हमेशा first form of verb use की जाती है. And after that at the end our object, which is us. Does he not follow us? Now when we will change it into a passive, according to rule, it's interrogative, it must be interrogative. So for making it interrogative, we will have to place the helping verb of passive voice. Helping verb of passive voice in simple present tense we have already discussed. Is, are, or am. Is, are, or am are the helping verb for passive voice in simple present tense. So according to subject, our object here is us. When we will place it at the place of subject, then it will be in subjective form. I am again and again repeating the same thing. कि जब भी आप अपना object, if it is a pronoun or in objective case, जब भी आप उसको subject की जगह पर लाएंगे, then it will be in subjective case, not into objective case. Here it is us, here it will be we. So for we choose are. Our helping verb will be at the start of the sentence, are we. After that, here is not before the verb, so in passive voice it will be also before the verb. Active voice के अंदर भी not हमारा verb से पहले आ रहा है, passive voice के अंदर भी हमारा जो not होगा वो verb से पहले आएगा और helping verb start पे. Are we not? Again, as per prescribed rule, third form of verb in passive voice, are we not followed? Addition of by, a proposition, and at the end, our subject into object, him. From he into him. So, you have noticed that all the same rules which I have discussed at the start of the lecture, these rules are repeating in the all sentences. Subject into object, object into subject, third form of verb and addition of by. These are the basic rules for active voice और passive voice. जब भी आप active voice से passive voice में किसी भी tense का sentence change करते हैं, you have to follow these three basic rules. First rule, object into subject. Second rule, third form of verb. Third rule, addition of by, and the fourth one is subject into a object. So here is our simple present tense.